This week on The Breakout, we're talking about
the death of JCIDS
and an Air National Guard base getting ready for some fighters. Welcome to the Weekly Breakout. I'm Deputy Editor Lee Farron. I'm here with
Ashley Roque, Pentagon reporter.
And we brought Ash on to talk about the death of JCIDS. This is some news that came up in a Pentagon memo last week. It kills a very specific process in the Pentagon. I'm already out of my depth talking about this. Ash, first of all, what is JCIDS?
So JCIDS is actually managed by the Joint Requirements Oversight Council, which is made up of sort of the service's vice chiefs and some other Pentagon leaders as well.
What does JCIDS actually stand for?
The Joint Capability Integration and Development System.
So what does that mean in practical terms? What does this group actually do?
So essentially, they look at joint requirements. But there's been a lot of controversy and mixed emotions over it because the requirements come in and just sort of sit and wither on a shelf.
And that wasn't the only thing in the memo, though. There was a lot of moving parts. What else happened?
So essentially what it did is it killed the JCIDS process and sort of are pushing the requirements back down towards the services.
Okay.
The memo also set up a requirements and resourcing board made up of service leaders again. But what they're going to do is sort of like on an annual basis, look at what the service requirements are and make some resourcing decisions, etc. It also sort of set up an integration and engineering board, which is supposed to be working with industry to move things quicker, sort of work with primes and non-traditional primes in order to get programs moving faster.
This is all in kind of the broader push to streamline an acquisition and to cut through some red tape, which I think everyone would agree cutting through red tape is good, but it really depends how you do it. You spoke to a few analysts about this latest memo. What was their reaction to destroying JCIDS and all the other moves?
So by and large, a lot of good feedback, but there are questions about how it's actually going to work. Are combatant commanders actually going to get a voice at this engineering integration point? But then also, if the services are sort of moving out on their own, their capabilities have to sort of flow into a joint picture. So for example, one example given was the Army. They're all in on drones, especially small drones. But what are small drones actually going to do in the Indo-Pacific theater? And so combatant commanders might have questions about that.
It's like, of course, you want the services to buy quicker, but if it doesn't have a joint component, then it's going to be a siloed move. And that's another thing the Pentagon has tried to get past. So we'll see how all that shakes out. After the break, we'll bring on Michael Morrow to talk about Selfridge Air National Guard Base getting ready for some fighter jets.
At Leonardo DRS, our agility helps bring the ability to dominate in any scenario, on any platform, helping our warfighters accomplish the mission and get home safely. Leonardo DRS, our agility, your advantage.
All right, and we're back. I'm with Michael Morrow, our air warfare reporter. We're talking about Selfridge Air National Guard Base getting ready to host some F-15s, which was something of a surprise, but let's back up. Why are we talking about Selfridge and F-15s?
Right, so for a few years, it's been an open question what the future of Selfridge will look like because they have the A-10 and that's going to retire soon. So earlier this year, President Trump put all those questions to rest by announcing that Selfridge will get 21 new F-15EXs.
After a successful lobbying campaign by Governor Whitmer.
Yes.
Well, certainly welcome news to the National Guard base there, but in order to get ready for the F-15, they have to do quite a bit of work on the base itself to the measure of $500 million, it seems.
Right, so that's over the next 10 years. There are a few things that need to happen. They need to relocate the runway to address some local concerns. There are houses near the runway as aircraft take off, it can be loud. So they want to address those concerns with the
hangars need to be bigger.
Yeah, they need bigger hangars for the EX to fit inside of them. The A-10 is a smaller aircraft. They need new support equipment. They also need to prepare for the arrival of the KC-46.
So that's a lot of work to be done in a fairly short timeline before these planes arrive. There are also questions about where's the money coming from to do this? And one lawmaker in particular kind of asked the Air Force recently, what's the plan here?
Right, so Congressman John James, who represents Selfridge in the House, he put out a letter just a few weeks ago raising questions about the Air Force's funding plan, specifically because his letter raised concerns that if these things are not addressed in time, that it could delay the arrival of the F-15EX. So he's pushing for $90 million to help kickstart some of this. There's about $20 million earmarked in the Senate's version of the 26 spending bill. The House version of that bill, however, does not have those earmarks. And the Pentagon expressed some desire to use reconciliation funds for some of these improvements, but that was not in the spending plan that lawmakers sent to the Pentagon.
So we've got a little bit of time for the Air Force and Congress to sort all this out, especially as the budget makes its way through the chambers. We'll see how it goes. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we go forward. In the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe to these videos so you get them in your inbox when they're ready. And I believe we're also on podcasts. Do you know we're on podcasts?
Yes.
Yeah, we're on podcasts. Your favorite podcasting platform, search for us there. I'm Lee Farron.
And I'm Michael Morrow.
Until next time.